Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ito na naman ang inyong gurong vlogger ng Kuwait. At we are live sa channel ni Ilong Vlogger ng Kuwait. Diba? Bongga siya. Bongga siya. Uy, bongga. Bongga daw, bongga. So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sino may nakapasok na ba? Live. Ito pala yung isang... Oh, my phone and my phone and my phone. Nahulog yung phone ko. O, diba? Nahulog yung phone ko, diba? So, mamaya, guys. Mamaya. Sana maulit muli. Sana'y bigyan pansin ang himig ko. Hapon bukas ngayon. Sana tayo, guys. Ayan, I'll just send the link. The link. Ayan, Dan. Ayan, mega love shoutout, Dan. Can you hear me, Dan? Naririnig mo ko, Dan? Ayan, present, Kalens, Kylie, Amstel muna, Jester, Patrick. Ayan. Loud and clear. Okay, loud and clear and loud. Sige. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. Fahad, and good evening. Ryan, good evening. By the way, yung mga editors who edited the grade 10, grade 6, ang grade 6 na natin, na yearbook natin. Who edited it? Angel, ayan. Sino nag-edit nun? Tawag ito? Isabella and Fian, ayan. Okay, sige. I'll just talk to you tomorrow na lang. We will just, And Fian is there. Fian, what section that you have edited, Fian? It's with Sir Cesar? Or kasi mali yung advisor. Dalawang Cesario kaya biyabang advisor dito. Anyway, just tomorrow na lang. We will just discuss tomorrow. Aguinaldo, yan, magsaysayan. Yeah, actually, yes, yes. The first one was the brother of of Fian. Yung ano niya, middle name niya is actually dapat S sa tour, but it was been put here M. I don't know saan nakuha ni Haj yung M. Ayan. Then yung sa grade 6 naman, just ano lang just pointers lang. Then sa grade 6 naman, dun sa Ramon Magsaysay, tama yung class advisor, si Cesario Cayabyab. Then dun sa kabila, still Cesario Cayabyab. Diba? Do you have your yearbook with you there, diba? May yearbook kayo dun, diba? Oo. Then may isang bata, parang ang nilagay yata na ano niya, na ambition niya is to be nothing. Parang ganun. Parang the mother is disappointed daw. Because why is it that the dream is to be nothing? Ganun. Eh sabi ko naman, we are just editors. We are not the one who made the what do you call this? The ambitions or their mottos in life. Actually, it might be a clickbait lang siya eh. Baka clickbait lang yun to get some attentions. Anyway, that's not our main agenda for today, for tonight. So let's have now. So there are how many? Aya, Kylie, Fian, Angel, Ryan, Fahad, Dan, Patrick, Jester, Muna, Amstel, Calens, Dan. So, 10. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Should we need for the others to come inside? Or start, just say start. Kung gusto nyo na mag-start na tayo mag-review. Just type start so that we can start reviewing na. I'll just PM the group na lang later, Usap na lang tayo after this review. Just type start if you want the review to start now. Wala, ayaw niya mag-start ng review. Ayan na, start. Si Kylie lang pa gusto mag-start ng review. Type start, guys. Type start. Nagmo-monitor ako ng ninyo naman. Start. Sige na, start na tayo. Start. Okay, first question. It sees society as an integral whole with structure and institutions holding power and authority and exerting control over society. It sees society, I think this is mass society approach. Okay, mass society approach. I think this is the topic of Kylie. That's why she knows. So it sees society as an integral whole with structure and institutions holding power and authority and exerting control over society. Okay, I think that this is more on capitalism. Kylie, mass society approach. It sees society as an integral whole, which with structures and institutions holding power and authority and exerting control over society. And I think kahit saan mga institutional brackets, meron pa rin ganito. There's still the structure, company structure. Okay, now next, number 2. It refers to the production forces or materials and on source. Sorry, it refers to the production forces or the materials and resources that generates the good society needs. I think it's still on Kylie's discussion. It refers to the production forces or the materials and resources that generate the goods society needs. Anong tawag natin doon? I think this is a Marxism approach. A Marxism approach. It's Marxism na ano siya. What's the answer? It refers to the production forces or the materials and resources. It's base. 7 it's base. Okay, it's the base. Very good. It's the base. How about this one? It describes all other aspects of society. It describes all other aspects of society. Just the counterpart of base, and that is it describes all other aspects of society. The answer is what? Kylie, I think this is your topic. Superstructure. A superstructure. Next, I'll just check the other monitor of mine. Monitor ko kasi siya. Okay, next question. It is a framework for building theory that sees society as a complex system whose parts work together to promote solidarity and stability. It is a framework for building theory that sees society as a complex system whose parts work together to promote solidarity and stability. That is what? It's still under Kylie's topic. It is a framework for building theory that sees society as a complex system. Functionalism. Very good. It's functionalism. How about this one? It observes how the interactions of individuals with their society and the world around them gives meaning to otherwise worthless things and creates reality of the society. It observes how the interactions of individuals with their society and the world around them and the world around them gives meaning to otherwise worthless things and creates the reality of the society. And that is what? Social constructionism. Okay, social constructionism. Next, it is the ability to access, analyze, and respond to a range of media. I think this is the topic of Hajj or topic of no, I think this is the topic of Isabella. It is the ability to access, analyze, and respond to a range of media. And that is the title of our book or the title of our course. Media literacy. Okay, media literacy. Okay. So media literacy, therefore, is the ability to access, analyze, and respond to a range of media. Okay, next, it is a material similar to a thick paper that was used in ancient times as writing surface. This is the topic of Amstel. It is a material similar to a thick paper that was used in ancient times as a writing surface. And I think this is originated in what country is that? In Africa, I think one of the countries in Africa. Ano tawag dito? It is mm, Egypt. I think it's in Egypt. Yeah, it's originated in Egypt. Nasaan na si ano? Where's Amstel? It is it's okay. Nakuha na niya no. Nakuha na nila. Okay, very good. Our next, it was an early book on the Catechism of the Catholic Church, written in 1593 by Fray Juan de Plasencia, and it's believed to be one of the earliest printed books in the Philippines. It is, it's one of the earliest printed books in the Philippines, and that is what? Is it Doctrina? Is it Doctrina Christiana? No. Are you sure? It was an early book on the Catechism of the Catholic Church, written in 1593 by Fray Juan de Plasencia. So is this true or false? Depende, Kylie. I'll just put it in ano. Sige na. Tama si Kylie. Actually, tama si Kylie. Doktrina Kristiyana. Doktrina Kristiyana, Kylie. How about this one? It is a late 16th century Spanish manuscript that was produced in the Philippines. It is a late 16th century Spanish manuscript that was produced in the Philippines. It is a late 16th century Spanish manuscript that was produced in the Philippines. Amstel, alam mo dapat to. It's your topic. Amstel. Amstel. Boxer Codex. Okay, it's Boxer Codex. Very good. And it was the first daily newspaper being published in the Philippines. Okay, Dan Joseph said it's Boxer Codex. Okay, it was the first daily newspaper being published in the Philippines. La Esperanza. Very good. I think I discussed this yesterday, so we will just repeat it. It is where the messages came from. It is where the messages came from. So these are part of the communication process. It is where the message came from. So I mean, it's the source, of course. It's the source. Very good. Muna source, had source. Okay. Next. It is the process by which the message or a message is translated so it can be transmitted. It is the process by which the message is translated so it can be transmitted. How do you translate it? Through encoding. Very good. It's encoding. So you can translate it through encoding. Next, it is the actual act of sending the message. It is the actual act of sending the message. Pag na-translate na siya, so it can be what? Transmitting, okay? Transmitting. Very good. So the act now of sending the message is through transmitting. Very good. Next, these are mediums through which you can send a message so its intended audience. These are mediums through which you can send a message to its intended audience. So there are different mediums, right? Channels. Very good. There are different channels. Diba? Pwedeng tao siya from one person to another. It could be through the channel of telephone. Okay? Transmission. Okay, next number. It is the one who gets the message that was transmitted through the channels. It is the one who gets the message that was transmitted through the channels. Receiver, of course, it's obvious. The one that gets the message is the receiver. Oh, Dan, wrong spelling. Receiver. Patrick, receiver, correct. Muna, correct. Okay, next. Oops, kiri, oops, kiri, oops. Charot lang. Okay? It is the response generated by the messages that was sent to the receiver. It is the response generated by the messages that was sent to the receiver. Sabi feedback. Feedback. Okay? Feedback. Very good. Feedback. Next. It is known as a noise. It is known as a noise. This is known as a noise. The last interference. Okay, interference. Interference. So the answer is interference. Okay, there are two kinds of ano, 'di ba? There are two kinds of noise. It's literal and figurative. So which one is literal and which one is figurative? Interference only, sir. Yes, it's interference. Noise is known as interference. Yeah. It is a mechanical sound that is perhaps more resonant than the message drowning. It is a mechanical sound that is perhaps more resonant than the message drowning. Is it literal or figurative noise? Literal noise. Of course, it's obvious, meaning therefore that it means that the other messages with conflicting tones drowning the original message known as the figurative noise. Okay? Next. I think we discussed this yesterday, but we need to recall it again. What do you call again? The ability to use, navigate, manage, store, and retrieve content in the print, radio, and online. I think I gave this in your first quiz. It is the ability to use, navigate, manage, and retrieve, accessing. Okay, very good. It is the viewer's ability to read, deconstruct, and evaluate media context and motivations. Okay, very good, Muna. Then I'm still Ryan. Number it's the ability to read, deconstruct, and evaluate media context and motivations. Sabi ni Kylie, understanding. Okay. Patrick, Muna, Amstel, understanding. Okay, Muna, Haj. It is the viewers or netizens' ability to produce, distribute, and publish ideas and information via mainstream media or social media. What we call to the viewers or netizens' ability? Creating. Very good. It's creating. Creating. It is a false or misleading information presented as news. Okay, it is a false or misleading information presented in the news, fake news. Okay, very good. Fake news. Ayun yung fake news. Fake news. Okay, ito malinig ni ano to ni Kylie. It is a false information which is intended to mislead, especially propaganda issued by the government organization to a rival power or the media or stuff or the media. It is the false information which is intended to mislead, especially propaganda, disinformation. Very good. Tama na niya, disinformation. Tama mo na, disinformation. Oh, 'di ba? Learning from mistakes. Next, it is a false or inaccurate information, especially that which is deliberately intended to deceive. It is a false or inaccurate information, especially that which is deliberately intended to deceive. Misinformation. Okay. Uh, Blank is also known as completely false content. It is also known as completely false content. What do we call a content that is completely false? Fabricated content. Very good. How about this one? It is distortion of a genuine information or imagery. For example, a headline that is made more sensationalist other than popularized by clickbait. I think this is the one that had happened to the grade 6. Baka gusto niya maging clickbait lang yung gusto niya, kaso nga lang, ayun ko, we grew up in different era, so most likely, I don't know. Manipulated content. Sabi niya, it's manipulated content. Yes, it's manipulated content. Next, it's manipulated content. Next is it is impersonation of a genuine source, for example, by using the branding of an established news agency. It is an impersonation of genuine source, for example, by using the branding of an established news agency. Imposter, okay, imposter content. Imposter content. Hi, Isabella. Habol ka na lang, Isabella. Sorry, late po. Okay, no problem. This is just a review. So, habol ka na lang. You just, ano na lang, after this, you just review the video. Next, um, misleading use of information, for example, by presenting comment as fact is called blank. Misleading use of information, for example, by presenting comment as a fact is called blank. Sabi ni Amstel, misleading content. It's a misleading content. Next, misleading content. It is factually accurate content that is shared with false context information. For example, when a headline of an article does not reflect the content. It is factually accurate content that is shared with false content information. For example, okay, false content of connection. Next, it presents humorous but false stories as they are true. Although not usually categorized as fake news, this may unintentionally fool readers. It presents humorous but false stories as if they are true. So that's satire and parody. Ano Saturday and parody? Ano Saturday? Satire. Satire. Okay, satire and parody. Okay, next. It refers to the communication channels through which we disseminate news, movies, music, education, promotion, messages, and other data. Sir, autocorrect. Sige, sige, sige. It refers to the communication channels through which we disseminate news, movies, music, education, promotional messages, and other data. Sana yun? Number. Okay. Media. Very good. Media. 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 Okay. It refers to the diverse array of media technologies that reach large audience via mass communication. It refers to a diverse array of media technologies that reach a large audience via communication. Mass media. Okay, mass media. Mass media. Very good. It means of mass communication in the form of printed publications, such as newspaper and magazines. It means of mass communication in form of printed publications, such as newspaper and magazines. Print media. Okay, very good. Print media. It is the inclusion of different mediums that are used for communicating, transmitting, and broadcasting to the public or masses. It uses a wide range of audiovisual materials as well as electronic or electromagnetic mediums to share news, information, entertainment, ads, etc. with the target audience or general public. Broadcast media. Okay, broadcast media. Very good. It is the direct, purposeful exchange of information and messages between people or group of people by speaking, writing, gestures, and signs. It is the direct, purposeful exchange of information and messages between people or group of people by speaking, writing, gestures, and signs. Communication. Very good. It refers to any form of communication passed and transmitted using channels. It refers to any form of communication passed and transmitted using channel. Message. Very good. It's a message. It refers to the communication between two persons, whether verbal or nonverbal. It refers to the communication between two persons, whether verbal or nonverbal. Interpersonal communication. It involves discourse between three or more persons. It involves discourse between three or more persons. Interpersonal is small group communication. Small group. Okay, very good. Small group communication. Small group communication. Okay, true or false? Communication, true or false tayo? Communication is the directed. Communication is the directed and purposeful exchange of information and messages between people or group of people by speaking, writing, gestures, and signs. True or false? Communication is the direct and purposeful exchange of information. What is the direct? Is directed. Communication is directed and purposeful exchange of information and messages between people or group of people by speaking, writing, gestures, and signs. True or false? Communication is directed and purposeful exchange of information. True. True. Okay. Channels refers to any form of communication passed or transmitted using message. Channels Channel refers to any form of communication passed or transmitted using a message. O bakit false, Kylie? Why it's false? Message refers to any form of communication passed or transmitted using channels. Baliktad, no? You exchange channels and messages, sir. Very good. Okay. Intrapersonal communication refers to the communication between two persons, whether they are verbal or nonverbal. True or false? I think I just gave hints already. Intrapersonal, for false, because it must be interpersonal. Intra means one. Okay? Just talking to yourself. Very good. So, interpersonal communication is now the process or refers to the communication between two persons, whether they are verbal or nonverbal, while intrapersonal now is the process by which an individual communicates within themselves. Okay, acting as both sender and receiver of the messages, encompasses the use of unspoken words to continue to uncon- to consciously engage in self-talk and inner speech. Pero wag madalas ha, wag madalas pag gumagamit ka ng intrapersonal. Okay? Ay lagging guys. Naglalag yata ako guys. Am I lagging? Wait. Okay, local lang sa ako. Wait, guys. Wait. Okay, next. Next. You're back. Okay, naglag ako kanina. Sorry, naglag. Naglag naman. Oy, 8 pa lang yung thumbs up dyan. Hindi pa kayo nagta-thumbs up. Ang dami-dami natin dito nagre-review pa tapos hindi yung iba hindi nagta-thumbs up. Ayoko na, charot. Yung mga hindi nag-thumbs up dyan, ayoko na. Sige, damihan nyo yung thumbs up muna bago ko i-continue. Yung mga hindi pa nag-thumbs up dyan. 9 na, sir. 9 na daw. Sigurado ko yung 9 na. Check ko. O 12 na. Sige na. Thumbs up daw si 5 plus 5 pa yung mga nag-thumbs. Hoy, nagre-review na nga tayo dito. So, perfect mo na naman, Kylie. O, saan kayo bibigay yung Hi, o sige, plus 5 pero wag na tayo mag-review, okay. Last na din yun. Kasi nag-thumbs up na kayo, may plus 5 na kayo. Okay, next question, true or false? Mass communication is the term commonly used to refer to communication. Sorry, mali pala. Mass communication is the term commonly used to refer to communication systems that are configured to create, produce, and disseminate media text to mass audiences. True or false? Mass communication is the term commonly used to refer to communication systems that are configured to create, produce, and disseminate media text to mass audiences. True daw, sabi ni Kylie. So, maniwala kayo kay Kylie. True. Oh my God, my God, my God, and my Lord. Okay. True daw, true. Next. True or false? Mass communication is a traditional form of mass communication which consists of drawing on the walls of the caves, carving on the barks of trees, and later on the parchment. Ano mo pagbasa dito? Parchment? Parchment. Tama. True or false? Saan na tayo? Nag-lag ba ako? Did I lag? Nag-lag ba ako? Hindi naman. Sir, can you repeat po? Sige. Traditional forms of mass communication consist of drawing on the walls of the caves, carving on the barks of trees, and later on parchment. Papyrus. Ano ba?
Papyrus.
Papyrus. Parchment is papyrus. 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 False. Bakit siya false, Kylie? Next. Traditional forms of mass communication consist of drawing on the walls of caves. Sabi ni Kylie, it's false. Carving on the bark of trees and later on parchment or papyrus. Sabi niya, traditional forms are radio, film, etc. Okay. Ito na Dan, this is I think what you're telling. Mediated interpersonal communication is one of the most dynamic areas in communication studies, reflecting on how individuals utilize technology more and more often in their personal interaction. True or false? Mediated interpersonal communication is one of the most dynamic areas in communication studies, reflecting on how individuals utilize technology more and more often in their personal interaction. True. So, pag sinabi kasi nating mediated interpersonal, meaning it's we're using the technology in order for us to communicate. Okay? True. Halimbawa, yung on email, kanon. Small group communication involves discourse between three or more persons. True or false? Small group communication involves discourse between three or more persons. True or false? True. Okay, your class, for example, being divided during activities, an example of small group communication. Example, I group you into 5 in each group. Can we consider that as a small group communication? True or false? How about organizational communication? How can we define it? Can we define it as a method of conveying and sharing information in an organization? Can we define that true or false? Organization communication is a method of conveying and sharing information such as organizational goals. True or false? Sabi ni Dan, true. True or false? It was the Muslims who invented the codex around 100 AD. By the way, who are the Gentiles? False. Okay. What's the difference between Gentiles and Christians? What's the difference between a Gentile and a Christian? Anyone? What's the difference between Gentile and a Christian? So it was the Christians who invented the codex around 100 AD. That's true already. But my question is, what's the difference between a Gentile and a Christian? Oh, sagot. What's the difference na? Sagot. Anong sagot sa tanong? Anong sagot sa tanong? Wala, ayaw niyong sagutin. Who invented the movable type printing press? Who invented the mechanical movable type printing press? Anyone? Who invented Johann Gutenberg? Okay, Johannes Gutenberg. Which one is correct spelling? Is it Isabella or Kylie? It's Johannes Gutenberg. True or false? It was in England that the first newspaper was reportedly produced. True or false? It was in England that the first newspaper was reportedly produced. True or false? It was in England that the first newspaper was reportedly produced. Sabi niya, it's true. True or false? It in the late 1600s, England's monarchy was subsumed under the parliament, and the compelling needs to accelerate its commerce and naval activities made newspaper a regular feature in the country. True or false? In other term, that in the late 1600, that all activities, sorry, true or false, in the late 600, England monarchy was subsumed under parliament, and the compelling need to accelerate its commerce and naval activities made newspaper a regular feature in the country. So to promote therefore their commerce and naval activities, so they use now newspaper as a regular feature in the country. So yun yung ginamit nila as a medium. So true or false? I think this is in the topic of Amstel. Sabi niya true. So in the year 700, the idea of free press, so we're pertaining now to free press, it's an independent from the control of the government, emerged as a strong rhetorical against authoritarianism states. So sabi dito, true or false, by the year 700, or this is in 18th century, the idea of a free press independent from the control of the government emerged as a strong rhetorical against authoritarianism, authoritarian states. Is it true or false? So, basahin nyo yan. In the Philippines, the rise of the newspaper came about in the first decades of the 19th century. True or false? In the Philippines, the rise of newspaper came about in the first decade of the 19th century. True or false? True or false? Sabi ni Kylie, true. Ayan, no, sinend ko yung Real Talk Videos, RTV. That's my personal channel. Charot. Yung mga hindi pa nakasubscribe dyan, please subscribe there. In December 1, 1866, the first daily newspaper was published in the country. In 1866, December 1, 1866, the first daily newspaper was published in the country. True or false? In December 1, 1866, sabi niya false. Okay, so lahat nito naisabi ko na kanina. Wala na, yun lang. Ito pa, true or false? Local media refers to local newspaper, TV, radio channels. True or false? Local media refers to local newspapers, TV, or radio channels. I think it's given already. The answer is given. Local media refers to the local newspaper, TV, radio stations, or channels. How about this one? Mass media is about reaching a large number of people. It's given also. Mass media is about reaching a large number of people. True. Siyempre true. Oh. Ano pa i-review natin? Digital media transmit information electronic. Oh, it's obvious. Digital media transmit information electro electro ano, electronically via media such as film, radio, recorded music, or television. True or false? We're pertaining to digital media. Digital media transmit information electronically via media such as film, radio, recorded music, or televisions. Sigurado ka true muna? Pag sinabi nating digital media, anong ibig sabihin natin? 'Di ba? We are pertaining to the internet and mobile mass communication, 'di ba? Kasi sinabi nating digital, ibig sabihin online. So ibig sabihin therefore, ang radio recorded music, television, films those are broadcast medias, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Those are broadcast media. Ayun lang, mga fake news, basta yung binigay ko median basta i-review niyo yung ano guys, you need to review uh, your quizzes. Did I give you your second quiz kanina? Binigay ko ba yung second quiz niyo kanina? Hindi na kasi hindi ko pa pala nabibilang. Sige, bukas ko na lang ibigay first hour in the morning. Okay? So, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? No, sir. What are the type of tests? Ayun, binigay ko na, the type of test will be true, modified true or false, identification, end of quote. Diba? Diba, diba, diba? Alright. Alright. Uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Any other questions, guys? 2 minutes more, then after the so that you can sleep na. Sir, can you picture the answer key of quiz 2 and send it to the GC na lang? Wow. Bongga. Bongga ka, Day. Bukas na. Bukas na lang kita. Bukas na lang, Kylie. Mamaya may spread out kasi yung ano, yung pag nag-screenshot ako. Oh, any other questions, guys? 2 minutes more before I will end ano, the sessions. Then yung mga ano dito, sentinel officers, message ako sa inyo mamaya, ha? Oh, 1 minute more, guys. 1 minute more. Ano pa? Actually, may 5 minutes pa pala. 5 minutes pa pala to make it 1 hour. O magtanong na kayo. Kung wala na, let's go and sleep. Kylie, any question? Dan, any question? Patrick, Muna, Aya, sino pa yung mga active na, no? Amstel, any question, guys? Sir, how are you po? I'm still fine, I'm fine. Maganda pa rin. Beautiful pa rin. Bakit? Kayo, kumusta ang pagre-review ninyo? Did you review well? Or you need still to review more? Sige na, let's call a night na. God bless everyone. Goodbye. See you tomorrow. Charot. Huwag mo akong balabalahin, Dan. Sige na, bye na. Magsitulog na kayo. Good night, good night. Okay, bye, Haj. Bye, bye, everyone. Okay, bye, bye. It's American Pie. Everyone, everyone. Okay, bye.